Hello, 𝗵𝗲𝗍 here. I hope you are doing amazing. So that's a good start. So I spent the weekend with 23 women at our VIP virtual retreat, and I can hardly believe what happened. It blew my mind. I'm still buzzing about it. So I shared how to optimize your offer. I shared all the different elements that go into an offer to make it irresistible. And I also shared how to sell it. So we went through the authentic enrollment formula, which is my process for selling and signing up clients, which was awesome. But this retreat went so far beyond marketing and sales. I shared some content that I've never shared with anyone before. And it actually came about from a question that I got asked in one of my recent mastermind sessions, where one of my clients asked if I have a coach, and I shared that I get coached every week and I also coach myself. And it got me thinking that I needed to share some of the processes that I personally take myself through when I'm coaching myself if I want to get a quick breakthrough. So in business, we need to be able to move quickly. We need to be able to move through the challenges that come up. And if you're a business owner, you know that we are often faced with challenges. In fact, most days we're faced with challenges, and we need to be able to quickly move on. We need to be able to reframe things. We need to not take things too personally, and we need to be able to accelerate our progress, or we will just keep going around that same mountain, doing the same things and being stuck and stagnant and not growing. So you've probably noticed business is one of the fastest ways to accelerate your own personal development, your own personal growth journey. Oh my goodness. So if you want to up-level your mindset, if you want to grow personally, start a business, right? So I share a lot of practical business strategies and tools, and I share a whole lot of tips in my community, like social media and marketing and funnels and systems and presenting and content. And even though I do quite a lot of mindset work myself and with my private clients, my one-on-one clients, I don't often teach it. So even though mindset work has been incredibly transformative for me personally, and it's a big part of my own personal business growth, the reason why so many the reason why I don't is because so many of my clients are actually coaches, and they already have access to a whole lot of mindset tools. But we know that having access to mindset tools isn't the same as actually having breakthroughs, right? Hey, by the way, if you're here live, hello. I can see some of you are jumping on. Welcome. So good to have you here. Could you pop live in the chat box if you're here live with me? Always so grateful to those of you who show up live. And if you're watching the replay, can you just pop replay, #replay in the comments? And please do share your thoughts as we're going along. If anything stands out, if anything jumps out, please type it in the chat box. Please be interactive. I always go back and I look at all the comments. So thank you. I appreciate you. So there's a difference between knowing and doing, right? So we can know that mindset's important. We can know a whole lot of tools. We can have a whole toolkit and still not actually pick up the tools. And also, a lot of the processes that we use in coaching take quite a bit of time. Like we could be doing a 30-minute or a 45-minute process to release a limiting belief or a trapped emotion or a conflicted value. So those are the main mindset things that I do. And we use a transformational tool that incorporates mindset, for example, timeline therapy. So some of the biggest challenges that most of my clients are facing at the moment are mindset challenges, or they start with mindset, and they're showing up in every area of business. So we know how important mindset is, but often we keep defaulting back to strategy. We believe mindset is so powerful. We know it logically, but we can easily kind of brush off the importance of it because we are in the busyness of our businesses. Does anyone relate to this? So I knew that I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't really spend a lot of time talking with the ladies at the retreat about what was preventing them from going to their next level, because we all have a next level and all of our success starts with our thinking, right? It always starts with our internal work. So we really dove deep into how mindset challenges are specifically showing up in business. for business owners and got people to really look at and face what was some of their own personal mindset challenges popping up. And we got really, really honest. We got to the truth. And the conversations were so powerful. They were electric. Like I was literally tingling. There were tears, there were breakthroughs, there were aha moments, there were new decisions made, which is the most important thing. It's not just about a feeling, it's about making a decision after that feeling. It was incredible. Every time I run a VIP virtual event, I talk about mindset, always. But in this retreat, I spent the longest time on mindset than I have ever spent before, because I felt it was needed. It felt like we have to do this. And the impact was so powerful. The speed at which people were getting breakthroughs blew me away. So I wanted to jump on here and share some of the behind the scenes secrets with you, and share how you can easily apply these principles in your life as well to create a rapid breakthrough in your business. So I'm going to share with you a 4-step process that we went through. It's a very simple mindset up level formula that I created called the Mind Upgrade. I did a demonstration with a lady who I'd never met before, and she had a significant breakthrough in less than 7 minutes. Less than 7 minutes. The result that she wanted to have was she wanted to show up more confidently on social media. She actually wanted to show up on social media at all, let alone confidently. So that was the result that she wanted to have. At the beginning of the conversation, these were the exact words she was telling me about. These are the exact words she was telling herself about what she was thinking and feeling and why she wasn't showing up. And I went back to the recording and I wrote them down. So she said, I don't have time. I have anxiety. What am I going to say? I know nothing. It makes me feel small. I don't look good. I don't sound right. Those were the beliefs that she was saying were coming up for her. By the end of the conversation, just a few minutes, these were her exact words. I'm enough as I am. I love the work I do and I want to share it. She said this with tears in her eyes. It makes a difference in people's lives. I want to help stop generational trauma. My work transforms people's lives. It's the only thing I want to do in life. This is where I need to be. I'm never going to be complete if I don't share it. It doesn't matter whether I get the response. I know it will reach the right people. How good is that? How powerful is that shift? So the key with this process is to be absolutely honest. It worked with this beautiful lady because she was very real and she was in front of a whole group of people and she was just so transparent, and that's when it works. It only works if you're absolutely willing to change and willing to be real, willing to be honest with yourself. So the rest of the ladies then did the process, which was very short process. And after the process, I said, type a B in the chat box if you had a breakthrough. And the chat box poured with the letter B. So would you like to know what we shared? It's going to sound simple, but sometimes we discount things because they are simple. And sometimes I think we need to actually take it back, strip it right back, because sometimes we can think change needs to be hard, change needs to be complicated, and it doesn't. So here's a bit about what I shared. I shared a section called Are You Willing? And in this section, I talked about the 2 different parts of our brain and how they're battling each other. You know this, right? So I call them your lower safe self, your lower self, or your safe self, and your higher brave self, your higher brave self. Now, your lower safe self and your higher brave self is battling. They are battling each other. Now, these are just parts of your brain. That lower self, that lower part of your brain, it's not you. It's not you. It's part of you, but it's not you. Now, literally, the lower safe part of your brain, it sits at the top of your spinal cord. It's at the base of your skull, and it's deep inside, and it's responsible for instincts and survival. The higher self, the brave self, sits in your literally at the higher part of your brain. It sits in the prefrontal cortex. And this part of the brain is responsible for logic and reasoning, and it regulates our thoughts and our actions and emotions through different connections with different parts of our brain. So it literally is the lower part of your brain and the higher part of your brain. And your higher brain self wants you to do great and glorious things. It does. It really does. But it first needs to know that you're going to be safe. It needs reassurance that change is safe and that you won't die if you take a risk and do something new. This is how our brain is wired. It's wired for safety. It's by design. It's done by design. So this is why you go to do something that feels so simple, like doing a live video or sharing on social media, and the excuses sound so real, don't they? They sound so believable, because this is part of you. This is actually part of you. So it feels like it's you. It feels like you are, it feels like you're coming up with these really smart things. Hey, everybody that's here. So the excuses can sound really believable, but when you really think about it, using your higher self, these things are actually quite irrational. Like, they're actually often lies that we're telling ourselves, like, I don't have time. That's a lie. That's a straight out lie. Like, we have 24/7 a day. It's just priority management, right? It's just how we choose to spend our time. So we literally lie to ourselves. It's too hard. That's a lie. You can learn anything. I'm bad at tech. Okay, maybe you are right now, but you can learn it. You're deleting the information, the truth that you can learn it. And you're not bad at tech. Like, the fact that you can send an email, open social media, like, it shows that you're not bad at tech. What if no one responds? We make that mean something about ourselves, right? So it's the meaning that we give it. What's the point? It won't work anyway. So all these things sound, kind of true. These things that are coming from our lower safe self, but actually it's our lower brain catastrophizing. It's freaking out. It's blowing things out of proportion because it's terrified of us stepping outside the safety zone into the unknown. So in this Are You Willing section, I put out an invitation to the ladies, and I said this: are you willing to reach your ultimate level of potential, success, and contribution? Are you willing? If you are willing, acknowledge that it requires a new way of thinking. It actually requires an upgrade in our thinking and an up level in your commitment and your actions. It's not just thinking. If it's just thinking with no commitment, no action, then it's not really a new thought. We need a new thought, a new level of thinking, a new up level in our thinking, our commitment, and our action. If you're not willing to reach your ultimate level of success, potential, and contribution, are you happy with your reason why? So are you willing? And if so, are you willing to go to that new level of thinking, that next level of thinking, commitment, and action? If you're not willing, are you happy with your reason why? So as soon as you make a decision, as soon as you say, I am willing, because I said, pop a W in the chat box if you're willing. I said, as soon as you do that, you just now made a decision to step out of your comfort zone. You publicly declared that you're willing, which means your subconscious mind is going to go to work and it's going to start creating scenarios to stop you doing it. You've experienced this before, right? All the stories start. All the doubting voices start. They all come from your lower part of your brain, and they're often subtle, and they're often whispers or just feelings or just like slight, vague, dull things under the surface. They're not clear. They're just kind of subtle vibes, they're thoughts that we're not really paying a lot of attention to you. And they say things like, who are you to do that? Or that's not real, or that's not possible for you. That couldn't happen to you. You're not that kind of person that can do that. That's easy for other people. All these different things that come up, right? We know these things. Who's experienced this? Pop in the comments. Have you experienced this? Hey, Lulu, great to have you. So we've got to be discerning discerning. It's the key word, to identify the stories and the tricks that our lower brain starts crafting. It starts crafting these stories. It's very crafty to try and keep us safe, because its job is to keep us safe. That's its job. It's doing its job. By the way, it's not going to go away. It's never going to go away. If you keep growing, it's going to be there. So we need to train the muscle. We need to build our relationship with it because it's not going to go away. Otherwise, I mean, it will only quieten down if you keep yourself small and safe, although your higher self will be at you. So either way, you've got voices coming through. Our lower self even creates blind spots to prevent us going to the next level. It creates blind spots. Blind spots are a result of us deleting information that could actually get us taking action towards our next level. So we all have blind spots, and that's why we need other people. We need to put things in place to ensure that our higher brave self wins the battle. It could be having a support system, getting a coach, reprogramming your mind. There are a lot of things we can do to help stop this preventing us from going to the next level. And this is why coaching with another person is so powerful, because they see blind spots that we don't see. So I want to take you through the mind upgrade activity. If you would like a copy of this mind upgrade activity, it's very simple. Just pop upgrade into the comments right now. Just write the word upgrade and I will send you the mind upgrade activity. And it's basically just a very simple process that you can go through using the acronym MIND. And you could have a breakthrough right now. Literally right now. Now, this process seems so simple that we can easily discount it and we can think that a breakthrough hasn't happened. So I want you to be aware of the limiting belief, maybe the pattern that says something like simple isn't powerful, or the limiting belief that change is hard and change takes time. Now, we know that it can take time to outwork change, but a decision can happen in an instant and it can set us on a new trajectory. Okay, so here's the questions. The first question is, what is a specific current behavior or result that you want to change? What is a specific current behavior or result you want to change? It could be something that you're doing, or it could be the result of something you're doing. So just think of that right now. What is a specific, not general. Our minds will generalize, distort, and delete information. So sometimes the mind generalizes in order to stop you taking steps forward. So it will go, oh, everything, we'll say something like, someone will say to us, tell me specifically what you want to change. And someone will go, everything. And it's a little bit of a protective mechanism to go, well, if it's everything, then it kind of lets me off the hook from choosing something. And sometimes when I'm coaching people, when they generalize like that and I get them to drill down, I can feel the nervousness coming, because it's like, oh, I actually have to face this one thing. Whereas if I go, it's fear of failure, then it's so big and highly chunked. By highly chunked, I mean, we've got all these chunks of information. We can either go way up abstract, or we can come down to the detail. When we chunk up high abstract, oh, no one likes me, everyone's going to think it sucks, all this generalizing, then it's actually an avoidance mechanism that our lower self throws out. It's pretty clever, this lower self, right? It's very good at looking after you and keeping you safe. But we can override the system with our prefrontal cortex. So make sure the behavior or the result is very specific. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. So make sure it's specific. So you might say something like, the specific result that I want is I want 5 clients to sign up with me in the next month. Or you could say a behavior. The specific behavior that I want to change is I want to show up every single week on social media. So you choose something specific, measurable, not vague, fluffy things like, oh, I want to be successful. That's massively generalizing. So chunk it to something specific. Let's go through the mind upgrade. The M is the meaning. What meaning are you making up about the situation? What meaning are you making up about the situation? What must you be believing? If you've got this behavior, or if you've got this result, what must you be believing? What story are you telling yourself? Now, this is where we have to get really, really honest, even if it sounds ridiculous, because our lower self does sound ridiculous sometimes. It sounds like a child. It sounds, not that children are ridiculous, but you know how there's this part of us that it's like you're saying it. And sometimes I think, Kat, you're a grown woman. You're saying this thing that sounds like I'm being a little brat, like when I was 4 years old. So sometimes when we say it, it can be like, oh, I can't believe I actually think that. Just remember, it's not you. It's part of you. So the first one is meaning. What meaning are you making up about the situation? What must you be believing? What story are you telling yourself? The next one is I, and the I stands for information. What information are you misinterpreting? Meaning, what facts are you generalizing, deleting, or distorting? And what impact is that having? So what information are you selectively choosing to ignore? Oh, the fact that you've had a baby, moved house, changed jobs, done all this other change, and you're still safe. When I get nervous when I'm about to give a presentation, I delete the fact that I've done over 400 presentations and I didn't die and I'm safe and no one hurt me, you know, so we delete a whole lot of information. We distort things. We generalize, we do it all. Remember, this is all lower self behavior to keep you safe. And this is often happening at a very unconscious level. We're bringing it now to our consciousness. The N is new empowering belief. What is your new empowering belief? So we've gathered from the mind, from the M and the I, we've gathered all that information. We've wrote it down, or we've spoken it out. Now we're shifting. What is your new empowering belief? What belief inspires you to be the highest and fullest expression of who you really are? Tap into that. That is powerful. And unless you've had brain damage in the neocortex, all of us can do this. Any of us can override the system of our hindbrain. And then what is your new decision? So the D is decision. What is your new decision to implement that new belief? So what action is going to follow that new belief? This process is so simple, but it can be absolutely game-changing. What meaning am I making up about the behavior or the result? What information am I misinterpreting? What is the new belief I want to have? What is the new decision I want to have? Very simple process, 4 steps, game-changing. You can have a breakthrough. If you do, please write the word breakthrough. Even if you just feel a little shift, if you feel a little bit more inspiration towards doing something, that is a breakthrough. You don't have to stand on stage and cry and break a board to have a breakthrough. A breakthrough is when you make a new decision and take a new action, because it all starts with your thinking. If you have a breakthrough, if you're watching this whenever, like 2 weeks, 6 months, 5 years later, if you have a breakthrough, please write breakthrough in the comments. If you had any type of shift, and if you feel inspired to go and make a new decision, if you make that new decision, then you know the breakthrough absolutely happened. If you'd like to know more about how to get coaching, to go to your next level in business, just DM me for a chat, just direct message, reach out, and we'll just have a chat and see where you're at and see if it's something that is the right fit for you. If you want to be part of an incredible community of female coaches and entrepreneurs who are supporting each other on this journey, the group is packed with women who are willing. And when we spend time with people who are willing to go to that next level, to do whatever it takes to move towards that ultimate version of our fullest potential, success and contribution, we need people around us that are also willing, because otherwise, if we're hanging out with people who are pulling us down through their words and through their actions, because they are so plugged into their lower self, they're operating out of their instinct survival mind. If we don't surround ourselves with people that are willing, that are doing hard things, that are constantly pushing outside their comfort zone, we are going to default. We will drift to that we have to be very intentional if we want to reach our level of success and potential. So if you want to be part of that community, it's an incredible community. Just DM me for a chat and I'll tell you more about it. In the meantime, have a breakthrough today. Enjoy this process. And if you want the activity sheet, just write the word, what did I say? Upgrade. Just write it in the chat box and I'll send it to you. Have a beautiful, amazing day. I'll talk to you again soon. Big love. Bye for now.